So here is a book that I believe that you should read. It was written back in 1958 by a man who used to be a former FBI agent. He was also a man of faith, and he had learned some things and shared some things that we as Americans need to understand and know. Now remember, 1958 was a completely different America. In 1958, you had stronger marriages. You didn't have, well, promiscuity was not celebrated, not to the degree of which we see. We didn't have legalized same sex marriages. We didn't see some of the flagrant just disrespect and dishonor to our Creator, as well as to one another and our country overall. On television, well, there was a time when television used to go off. I mean, at a certain time, you wasn't going to see anything but the fuzz on the screen. And now we have television 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We could binge watch. Is there a reason for all of this? Now, before I rattle off a few of the line items on the list, I want to also reference you back to a video that I made regarding a man by the name of Klaus Schwab. You may have heard of him because he is the founder of the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum was around since 1971. It is very powerful, strongly financially backed. They have ideologies that do not agree with what you want for your life. I don't care who you are. I don't think any of us will take the pleasure in our diet just being to eat bugs. I don't think anyone would prefer to eat meat that was made by a machine. I don't think anyone would appreciate being told what to or how to live. And, well, according to Klaus Schwab, what he said is, we will own nothing and be happy. You could find that online. His top advisor is Yuval Noah Harari. His views are even more radical. He has stated that we are hackable animals and they have learned how to hack us. They have also, him, Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates, which is part of this, Soros, which is part of this, along with some other heavy hitters, have already said and communicated that they believe that the world will be much better if we can just get rid of 1 billion or so. And so in this book now, this is what's really coming to surface now. Even the World Economic Forum that formed in 1971. Now listen, there are some heavy hitters there. You even have the King of England who's a part of this. This is why it was so significant when President Trump stated to them in 2025 that we are not giving up our sovereignty, that we are going to be prosperous, that everything that has been draining us is going to be removed. He also told them that there were certain relationships with other countries by their headship that was wrong for us and that we need to change, that the relationship needs to change. I mean, it was phenomenal. I couldn't even, it was difficult for me to get past that because I was just loving every minute of it. Amen. And so but Klaus Schwab, the reason why I bring him up is because he agrees with these ideologies. And if you know what they are, then maybe you can understand some of the things that we're experiencing. I'm going to read a few of them. By the way, if I haven't mentioned it, the title of the book is The Naked Communist. It was published in 1958. It was the name of the author. I'm going to say W. W. Skloson. I'll put it inside of the description. But W. Skloson. Now, these 45 communist goals that he includes inside of this book, he said that these were the goals that the heavy hitters in that day said that they were going to implement against America. Now, America specifically. Why? Because we were independent, the superpower, because we were known as a Christian nation, so we were monotheistic. We were a country that was strong and powerful. And they knew that the only way to be able to commit to the new was to destabilize us, to cause chaos in our camp, to invert us as a people. And by the way, this is for entertainment purposes only. And so they wanted to, according to the book, they wanted to, they make the difference between socialism and communism as a method for a takeover. Now, they use terms such as, instead we'll call it progressivism, and we'll call it all these different names. I'm trying to get to the point because I noticed the time is running out. So here we go. Here are a few of the 45 that they have, that's written inside the book, but also it went to Congress as well in the congressional records. So it's also there. So here's a few things. One is to capture one or both of the political parties in the United States of America. 2 is to gain control of schools, teachers, associations, soften the curriculum. Remember, this was released in 1958. Our curriculum was quite different back then. Children was learning critical thinking as opposed to critical race theory. They was learning how to compete with other countries so that we can stay a superpower. Now, that is not the case. Okay, I'm just going to rattle this off because my time is winding up. Infiltrate the press. Gain control of key positions in the radio, TV, and pictures. Eliminate all laws governing obscenity by calling them censorship and a violation of free speech and the press. Break down cultural standards. Hear this. Break down cultural standards of morality by promoting pornography and obscenity in media. Present homosexuality, degeneracy, and promiscuity as normal, natural, and healthy. Infiltrate the churches and replace revealed religion with social religion. Eliminate prayer and any phase of religious expression in the schools on the grounds that it violates the principle of separation of church and state. Now let me stop there for a minute, because back in 1958, your children was being led by their teacher in the Lord's Prayer, or what they call the Lord's Prayer, is really a model prayer. They also had access to Bibles inside of their church, inside of their schools. That was back in 1958. So to think that would never be the case was just hard to fathom. Well, after that, in 1962 and 1963, we had rulings that then resulted that that prayer would be removed from public schools and that Bibles would be removed as well. As far as presenting homosexuality, promiscuity, and degeneracy as normal, natural, and healthy, I'll let you decide that. Discredit and eventually dismantle the FBI. Infiltrate and gain control of big business and unions. Transfer some of the powers of arrest from the police to social agencies. Listen. Treat all behavioral problems as mental health and social problems. I'm going to stop right there. Oh, one more. Emphasize the need to raise children away from the negative influence of parents. There's so much more. It's really mind-blowing, because when you think about 1958 and what life was back then to 2025 and what we see, and you look at the goals, I would say they accomplished them. How about you? On what I just shared with you, do you think they accomplished any of those goals, all of those goals, or which of those goals? And don't forget to press that like button and to share and to follow me. God bless.